got probably the most fun, easiest, but definitely the most fun panel, I think. I love this topic of real-world adoption. I think that's what DePIN's all about, is trying to hit the next billion users and recruit them into crypto. So let me just start with our first question here, which of course is just the intros. So please, guys, feel free to introduce yourself. What's your project about?
Hey guys, this is Rohan. I'm the CMO for Roam. At Roam, what we're building is a global decentralized Wi-Fi network. The goal is to bring in over 600 million guest Wi-Fis together and make one global network where people can walk in, earn rewards, and also purchase hardware and be a part of the network. Super excited to be here, and as Aaron mentioned, this is probably going to be the most fun panel here. So cheers.
Go ahead.
Hi guys, my name is Igor Goldenberg. I am founder of WifiMap. WifiMap is the biggest crowdsourced and community-driven wireless network with 185 million users and over 15 million Wi-Fi hotspots mapped by our contributors. So essentially, it's a mobile app. It works very simple. You just download it, and whenever you go, Barcelona, Singapore, Dubai, you just open Wi-Fi map, and you see a huge amount of Wi-Fi hotspots. And just within a few clicks, you can get an instant access to free Wi-Fi. And our contributors actively participate in the crowdsourcing by adding Wi-Fi hotspots, running speed tests, and are rewarded by our utility Wi-Fi token. And the utility Wi-Fi token can be easily redeemed for global eSIM plans. So all the travelers and contributors can never pay for the global plans. They just participate, earn, redeem, and they just have a lot of funds. Thank you.
Nice to see you. I am Mike Massari. I am VP of research in a company that's called AEON. We are not a DePIN company, which is the interesting fact. We are a payment infrastructure company. We provide a decentralized way for people to accept payment from fiat money or from any token on any chain, and people at the same time to pay with any other token or on any other chain. The reason why we're here is because we work a lot with DePIN company. We see a lot of potential in interaction between DePIN and payment, where obviously the real world adoption of DePIN is really, really tied to people being able to consume it, people being able to pay for the DePIN services that they're getting, and also people being rewarded for DePIN services that they're getting. So I'm very excited to be here to talk with all of you about that.
Hi, I'm Ting, founder and the CEO of Powerpod right now. Powerpod is a protocol. Actually, we want to link all over the world the private charger to be a public one. So why we do this? Because we believe in the future every car is an electric car. Right now we have only 40 million electric car, but we have 2 billion compensation car. So think about only 2%. But how can we go there? We have to provide a more universal infra. So today, Aaron told me a question: how can we actually put 1 million people actually bring to DePIN or Web3? But in Powerpod, I believe if in the future there's a network connected to 1 million or even 10 million charger, it must be a decentralized way. So we want to be one of them. Yeah. So thank you.
Awesome. Well, I didn't get a chance to ask my question, but yeah, it was going to be how does your project plan to bring in the next million users? And also, how many users and devices do you currently have on your network? So Rohan, why don't you go ahead?
So as of now, we have over 700,000 registered users on the Roam app and over 600,000 network nodes that the community has added on the map. Plus, we have over 3.5 million open roaming nodes that the Roam app users can access. But coming down to the question of how we're going to add another million users, I believe that 2 things are really important. Like for any DePIN project, incentivization is really important, and then that's why the users participate in the network. Second thing I believe is the education and telling the people the importance of DePIN, the decentralization, Web3, because the more they know about the benefits of Web3, blockchain, decentralization, the more they're going to come on board. And here, like, fellow projects also are doing that, trying to bring in Web2 people onto the Web3 platform. So telling them why it's necessary and why it's important is super, 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 like, essential for us to grow. And 1 million users are going to come. I think the question should be, what's the next 10 million users? So, yeah.
Go ahead, Igor.
To us, it's not a challenge to bring another 1 million users because, currently we have already over 187 million users around the world. We consider to be the biggest DePIN project in crypto. And I'm excited to share that we're also going beyond connectivity by allowing our contributors to map other essential travel amenities like public restrooms, drinking fountains, charging stations, crypto ATMs. And this dramatically increase the audience. And I personally expect that very soon, each month we're gonna get 10 million users.
Yeah. Just got a follow-up question there. So yeah, I'm really curious because you guys have a huge user count. When did you guys decide to go the Web3 path? Because I understand that you guys were more of Web2 in the past.
Yeah.
And what did that transition look like? How many users did you have on the Web2 side before Web3?
Yeah, it's a very good question. We have been running this project for over 10 years. And 1 year ago, we launched our Wi-Fi utility token. And it was a lot of work to transform Web2 users into Web3. And it's still ongoing work. As my colleague said, that it's a lot of educational things you need to do with the Web2 because we do have a lot of gamification things, competitions, but people, I know personally a lot of contributors from Web2, they earned a lot of Wi-Fi tokens, and I see they hold like $3,000, $4,000 in their wallets, and they don't know what to do with this. So it's first of all a lot of we work closely with our contributors. We explain, we build different videos, and it takes time. It definitely takes time. But what we from the day of the Wi-Fi token launch, so in our graphs charts we saw like a hockey stick. People, first of all, a lot of crypto-savvy people came in our platform, and they created like some sort of a ripple effect, and it was like triple all our metrics: new users, new Wi-Fi hotspots, new speed tests. So definitely the move and transition from Web2 to Web3. It was like something tremendous for our platform.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah. Sounds like it was totally worth it.
Yeah, and I would like to add that since we continue to expand our platform by adding more amenities like public restrooms, drinking fountains, so all the mechanics will continue working as this. Okay, people will continue earning Wi-Fi tokens, and they later can redeem for other services. For example, you don't need to pay for the power banks or charging stations. It's going to be something major for us. It opens new horizons for our project.
That's amazing. Thank you for that.
I wanted to piggyback on that because I think you touched upon a couple of very interesting points, especially when it comes to adoption and Web2 adoption. I have a background in Web2, like I think many people in this room do. At some point, most of us were in Web2, and to me, it's about user experience. I generally do not think that we are in a position as a blockchain industry to provide the same level of user experience that the Web2 applications have. And the short answer to your question, how do you get to 1 million users, but also 10 million and then potentially 1 billion people, is that, right? DePIN has got the opportunity to touch a lot of people, many, many more people than other blockchain verticals, right? If you think about DeFi, not everyone invests in DeFi, right? Or even in traditional finance, but there's a lot of people that use Wi-Fi or they use cars. And I think that providing the user experience to the level where people do expect it and they do not even realize that effectively they're using a blockchain in a way, right? Or they're using blockchain technology or they're using Web3 is really the key to get to, users and potentially to 10 or 100 million. Now, the way that we are doing that is quite interesting. The company AEON is fairly new, relatively new. We've been established about 4 to 5 months ago. And we already have several hundred of thousands of users, and we work with a number of projects. So obviously we provide an infrastructure protocol. So for us users, it's a bit of an ambiguous term, right? You can consider our customers to be users or the end users of them to be users themselves. So that number is not particularly meaningful for us. What is meaningful is that we are able to provide a solution that is a very easy user experience solution for my mom or for people that have not been working with blockchain, that they've barely been working with, paying credit cards on and buying stuff on Amazon for Web3 projects. And that to me is the real key of scaling.
Amazing. Yeah, from the product management background as well that I have, definitely user and usability is just vital, and that's what I try to bring to IoTeX as well, just like really, really user-friendly products. I'm just going to share really quickly. DePIN Scan, we launched about 6 months ago, and we're trying to launch DePIN Scan 2.0, just trying to really bring and shed light to the DePIN sector, and that's why we host events like this as well. And so hopefully you guys can check it out and really see how user-friendly this stuff can be. So yeah, just trying to raise transparency in the sector with products just like that. Anything to add on to that, Ting?
Yeah, this question is meaningful for me because Powerpod made lots of mistakes in the past 2 years. So right now, I think the code start for Powerpod is very important for us. So at the first beginning, we ship our hardware to over 16 countries. We want to expand in a very fast way, but no, we call them all of them back. Then we select a bunch of the city to start our business, to make a scale model. So right now, I think it's quite good. We have less than 1,000 charger and over 10,000 users every day. But the average revenue per person for Powerpod is quite high. Every charge station, we can get over 5 to 10 US dollar. So we can make a public charger, help actually small business to make a little bit of passive income every day. I think this is good. It's quite good, especially last week in Macau, actually the whole electricity was consumed 5,000 kWh. I think it's a good number. So yeah, Powerpod is don't have that large scale at the first time, but still we are at the code start time for us.
Exciting.
Great.
Yeah, super bullish on your guys' project, obviously. Cool, so for this next question, I want to ask, outside of the project that you guys represent and the use case that you guys represent, what do you think is going to be the biggest use case in crypto, whether it's in DePIN or outside of DePIN?
I'm all in DePIN, so I'm probably going to go that route. I personally think that DePIN wearables is going to be super interesting for people to explore into, because these days everybody's like taking care of their health, tracking sleep, tracking how many steps they took, and how about you get paid while doing that? So I think DePIN wearables is going to be definitely something that picks up. As a joke, I was just talking to somebody outside, and they told me, I was telling them that there's a vape project which basically rewards you with the amount of smoke you do per day, which is super weird, but I mean, the possibilities with DePIN are pretty much endless.
I don't remember what project that's called, but they actually had a big fundraise recently, I think.
Okay, there you go.
I know them, actually. It's a good idea.
So I think like physical infrastructures have been around forever, and we as humans have been improving them. So I think DePIN has scale to grow in each and every sector. But for me, I think wearables is going to be something super interesting for DePIN.
Igor, do you have any idea?
Yeah, I would like to add that I personally looking forward the development of a decentralized storage, especially for us, for our project. We, in Q1 2025, we're going to become layer 2 solution on the Polygon blockchain, and all the petabytes of data are going to store it on a blockchain, and we're going to provide an access, an API to to real world asset, so everyone can build with our API and use our data. So to me, I'm following after all the decentralized storages and DePIN projects, and it's very crucial. It's crucial because our tests, it's like a lot of transactions, millions of transactions every day. So to store all this data, we just calculated how much gas we need to pay for a Matic, or it's a lot.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, I'd
Thank
bet
you.
any amount of money that it would be the CTO on the panel that would bring up decentralized storage.
Yeah.
I'll answer the question with a question. Show of hands, how many of you think that we're in a better position as an industry than we were 5 years ago? 1, 2, 3, 5. 50%, 40%, I will say. So I do agree with the 40%. Personally, I think that as much as we saw a deflation in the market lately, which is probably the reason why the 60% didn't raise their hand, I think that as an industry we're much more mature. I've been in blockchain for a while, and 5 years ago, conferences where had half the people and half the projects, and a lot of these projects were just, paper fires, right? They were just burning very high and then shutting off. I do think that now we have GameFi, SocialFi, we have what is called DeFi 2.0, which are all very, very interesting sectors. DePIN 5 years ago, as Aaron correctly said, was very, very small, and look where we are now. Like, this room is full of people, outside is full of people. So I do think that DePIN is a great use case, but every use case that really brings, let's say, average people, regular people that are not industry degens onto the blockchain is an interesting use case. So GameFi, SocialFi, and DeFi 2.0 are going to be my 3 biggest bets beside DePIN.
Yeah, love it. Ting?
No, actually, eventually, we want to bring DePIN to max adoption. You have to relay some kind of projects which near to clients, terminal customers. But right now, I think that we are at the stage for business. So there are a bunch of the projects like, Demo, Jonate, Hammermemper, which is advanced the supply side, but a very clear business model near the money. So who pay for all these kind of service or some data, or some kind of business like a Powerpod, right? If we organize all this structure, we can get money back. So I think actually, yeah, this is covered the stage. I think I named it to be business, right? So after a while, we will change it to C, like WifiMap, like Roam, like Helium, right? So, but we need a little bit patience to fund it right now. Outside of crypto, there's a project I like very much, quite like DePIN. The project name is Patients Like Me. They gather all the rare disease in the past 27 years. Right now, they have over 1 million rare disease patients all over the world. They have all these kind of the genetic data, all this daily care of these. They sell the data to actually pharmaceutical institution, all these kind of the company. Every year, their revenue over 100 million US dollar. I think it is quite small. It's good. So Patients Like Me is quite like DePIN, but right now I don't see a project so disrupt them, right?
Super
Great, thank you.
Yeah, super interesting. Yeah, we don't do much longer here, guys, on this panel, but let's just try and run through this pretty quickly. So for this next question, I just want to ask Roman WifiMap, who are kind of in the same space. Can you guys compare and contrast to one another? We'll let Rohan start.
Oh, we were just joking that we're not competitors, we're future partners. I believe like Wi-Fi space is very, very big for any one project to completely take over, to be honest. And DePIN is still small in the sense that only few projects are doing good work. So the best is to support each other and build together. WifiMap, as he mentioned, that they're more focused on travel-based things for users. But we're just exclusively Wi-Fi, and we believe that's the most easiest thing to bring a user on board to the decentralization train and the Web3 train. But of course, we are very happy to explore collaborations with WifiMap, build together and bring, and the goal is to bring a good user experience for new people and existing users. So if we can do it together, then why not?
Rohan,
Yeah,
you should consider going to politics. That was a very neutral answer. I want some fireworks.
Maybe.
Yeah, I agree. I don't consider ROM a competitor, because in WifiMap we specifically focus on crowdsourced hotspots, Wi-Fi hotspots, and we don't need the special hardware or device. And actually, I see ROM, Helium, and similar projects as potential partners, because with our huge community, if we add all their hotspots to our map, they just instantly gain huge exposure to millions of people. So I definitely agree. So we're partners.
Love it.
Yeah,
love it. All right, for the next couple of questions here, I just want to ask AEON and Powerpod, what do you think the reason is that we need crypto in the DePIN space? That's a question that I always get hammered on whenever I talk about the DePIN space. Like, why crypto? Why do we need a token?
Yeah, I think it's a good question. It's almost like a first principle question for Powerpod. It's not only for Powerpod, for every founders. So why DePIN? Why crypto? Why not USD? Payments is not enough. For Powerpod, I think the secret is behind the charging business itself, because the charge location is the everything. So it's quite like a 7-Eleven, McDonald's. But actually the big company, the Web2 counterparty, all these big company, they have to pay half of their cost for real estate. They have to pay the parking space. But if we have a way to encourage a private charger to a public one, just like Airbnb, we do not need to pay 5 square parking space separately, and also people maintain the hardware themselves. We don't need even to maintain actually the hardware. So which means our take rate is much lower than Web2 cloud. There's some Web2 aggregators like ChargePod, EVBox, and EVGo, but all these business entities, they will take to 20 to 30%. But right now, Powerpod only take to 3 to 5. I think in the future will be much lower. So that's why we use DePIN. DePIN is a wrap of different blockchain technologies. It's not ERC20 or NFT. It's a actually ledger of all these kind of the technology. We use them to organize like 1 million charger or even 10 million charger. I think actually it's time. We can do this. And then we give money or we give power back to community. And all the data, just like Bitcoin or Bitcoin mining pool, it can be verified publicly, right? So sometimes some people simplify Powerpod is Airbnb for charger, but actually behind the story is totally changed. Is actually this is the first simple or fundamental philosophy behind DePIN. So that's why question 1, why we use DePIN to organize this kind of business. Another one is why we use crypto is like Powerpod, we separate our token to second layers. One is utility token. We can go every country. We can avoid the regulations. But we have one governance token. So we separate the utility and the governance. So I think actually this organize is a very good, organize of token is very good compared to Helium. So we don't need to actually do all these kind of sum down in the future. So right, the utility token is unlimited in the future. Everybody can join the work, they do a mining or a token, but the governance token is limited cap. So there's a price. So every charge station, we will slash 5% or 3% of the price compared to the fiat money. So that's why we have used a token to organize it.
Got you. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm going to be brief. This is a first principle question, so we can talk about this for hours if we want to, but I don't think it just applies to DePIN. Right? I heard many times, what does this AI projects need blockchain, right? Or why does this blockchain project need AI? And DePIN the same, and game, why does this game need blockchain? What does this KOL need to accept blockchain payments? We can talk about this all day, right? And there's business conversations to be had, and there's technical conversations to be had, and I like Ting answer because he lightly touches on both, right? So I'm not gonna build too much on that, but from my point of view, regulation is definitely a big deal. And I personally do believe in the decentralization values of blockchain and in the bankless values of blockchain. So for me, that's a big drive. But I do appreciate that I'm a bit biased because I've been in the space for a very long time. So I still abide to the original values and to the original rules of blockchain. I'm glad, and I truly am, to see blockchain projects getting more widespread, and also Web2 projects like WifiMap getting onto chain. I think that there is a very good path for that to become more of a thing in the future.
Absolutely agree. All right, guys, I think that's about time. Do you have anything you want to add on before we sign off?
Yeah, thanks, Aaron. Thanks, IoTeX, for this opportunity. We just recently announced a 20 million Roam token airdrop for all miner and NFT owners. And we have some super cool announcements coming out this week, so make sure you follow us on our socials. And yeah, DePIN is the way.
I would like to announce that 2 weeks ago we released our new app with the new features you can see now, if you open our app, you can see already 2 more layers of public restrooms and drinking fountains. So download from the App Store. I'm sure you will flabbergasted. Thank you.
Aaron, you've been an amazing host. Thank you, and an amazing moderator.
Thank you.
I will do a small announcement as well, since this seems to be the vibe of this last question of the panel. We are actually launching the biggest gaming hackathon of the cycle. There's over $3 million in prizes. It's going to be held on Ton in partnership with the Ton Foundation. And we are kicking it off the day after tomorrow, on the 19th, here in Singapore. And it's going to be a 3-month hackathon. It's going to end in December. So if you have people that build games or want to build game, and they are fascinated by Ton and by the Ton ecosystem, please do send them our way, and they can be part of the hackathon and take part in this massive event. We expect to have over 5,000 game developers to register to the event.
Just 1 year ago, when Massari published the report that DePIN have the advantage because of the cost, cut the cost of the capex and opex. I also was attracted by the ideology, but after 1 year, I found there's something problem with it. So actually, right now, most DePIN product hardware, the price is much higher than Web2 counterparties, even include Powerpod. But half a year ago, when I tasted Powerpod service in Michigan, in a state, one small town named Troy, and also in Shanghai last week in Macau, I paid the charge service fee. I use a stable coin, USDC. I realized it's something. It's something related about our lifestyle. Just like Bitcoin is not, it's a competitive because of the efficiency in the traditional financial system. But everybody can hold a little bit of the power or the rights to organize our infra. So Powerpod is one example. This is the most exciting, actually, part of the whole project for me. So that's all. Thank you.
Love it. What a way to end it. All right, thank you, everyone. Thanks, guys.